And we're live with no intro, but it doesn't
Hello,
matter.
hello, hello.
We won't say anyone.
Comment
I'm
ça va?
proud of you. Ça va, toi?
Yes,
Bon
sir. Yes,
matin,
sir.
bon
Ça
matin.
va. Sorry, my internet is a bit. My internet is a little bit laggy. But what else is new? Can you hear me? Okay.
100%, 100%. On attend, c'est
Perfect. I
comme
like
attendre
that.
l'autobus pour attendre ta phrase, mais c'est correct.
Ben voyons donc. What's up, man? How was your weekend? Qu'est-ce qui t'a fait de bon cet week-end?
C'était le mariage d'un couple en fait, de la cousine de ma femme et de son nouveau mari. Ils sont mariés maintenant. C'était magnifique, c'était incroyable. À la montagne coupée, un endroit vraiment que je connaissais pas. It was very nice. We spent nice time with good nice people. And you?
Nice, nice. Moi, je suis allé chez Oktoberfest.
No
You
way.
know the famous Oktoberfest in Munich. It
Yes.
was a blast, man. It was really nice. It was something that I wanted to see on my bucket list. And check. It was
Ouais.
cool. It
Bon
was really
chance.
nice. It's kind of like in a way it's kind of like a La Ronde. Like there's rides,
Ah ouais.
Ferris wheel, roller coasters, and a whole bunch of stuff. But the real like things that go on are in the tents. There's like little setups, little tents, and all the Germans and all the tourists they go inside the tents and just drink beer nonstop. Music blasting. There's like a stage with like performers on stage. Performer. It's like somebody singing on stage. All the legendary classic music you could think of, and just waitress coming around and the waiters coming around serving beer nonstop. People just and the beer that they serve you. There's only one size you could get
Ah
at
ouais.
Oktoberfest. It's 1 liter.
Wow.
It's best beer I ever had in my life, by the
C'est
way. It
sûr,
was the
ça.
best beer that I've ever had in my life. It was so delicious. I don't know what I don't know what it was called, but I think they make it there, and I think it's a special beer. But oh man, it was delicious and a lot of fun, man. It was really cool. I'm definitely going back next year for sure.
C'est- On va y aller avec toi, mon chum. Tu me donnes le goût. On a le goût d'y aller, bro. Seems amazing.
Next year.
Yeah. So yeah, Marketing Monday. We got a little subject lined up today that I've been asked actually because we're talking about marketing every Monday now for a month. It's our 25th episode by the way already today. So I've been asked, a couple questions. I was at the wedding and people some people saw the podcast. They're not on a live stream, but they saw the podcast a few episodes back later on. And I had discussions, bro, because people are asking, different type of practical question that I felt today was a good way to talk about it. If we should invest in marketing first, or if we should invest in lead generating services or like a lead generating system inside of your company or outside of your company. Should you outsource? What would be the best investment? Between Facebook ads, all kinds of ads that you could think of, wrapping your truck, uh, like wrapping a van is pretty expensive. It's like it's a 10K, it's a 10 grand investment. So you actually get to think about it, and where would I put this? If you had 10 grand, where would you put that 10 grand?
It really depends. It really all depends what type of business you have. It's not the same for every business, right?
It's not the same for every business,
So
but I feel like these days Facebook ads are like everybody's talking about Facebook ads and Instagram ads and social media ads because it seems like it's where it's at. So
but
most people are
it's
like
been here for it's
it's on
been
the
where it's
menu.
at for a long time, right? It's Facebook ads, Instagram ads have been around here, and they're not going anywhere for a reason. Everybody's on social media. But if you ask me, how should I spend 10 grand on marketing? Well, it depends. The most important thing is doing research. Where is your customer? right? I heard who was it? Was it Lamborghini? Did you ever see a Lamborghini commercial? Have you ever seen one Lamborghini commercial?
No,
You know why? Because
tell me.
Lamborghini's customers are not watching TV. I heard that from someone, and that hit me.
That's amazing, but
So,
that's true if you think about it. They don't
so
have
yeah,
time.
that's it. So it really depends where your customers are. You know, for sure, everybody has social media, so you would think that being on Facebook is a must. And you're right. It probably is a must, depending on what type of business you're running.
So
But
based on what you're like, so it's interesting. Based on what you're saying, like I should invest. If if I not like not if I'm starting, if I have 10 grand to spend in either marketing or leads acquisition, it's not a lot of money, but it's a start. So should I invest it in an agency, a firm, like a consultant, a freelancer?
like to pay. Okay, so to pay
Because I have all those questions
to
now.
pay a
Like
third party to
I'm
pay a
just
third party
creating
to
an
take care of it
avatar
for
here.
you,
Like,
like to
sorry.
outsource, like to outsource it. You mean to outsource your marketing
So, well,
to another
right now
company?
I'm thinking about, based on what you're telling me, I should outsource my question. So I should outsource, where should I start? Because right now you're saying, oh, well, it depends. So if it depends, maybe I don't know in what type of media I should start. So I was bugged with that question, and because when you go to the wrapping place to wrap your truck, they're telling you their investment is the best investment, and they're giving you all these charts. They're saying, yeah, it's the
Cost per
lowest
view,
cost per, yeah.
cost per view, for
So
sure,
that's
for
what they're
sure.
telling you. So obviously you want to spend your 10 grand right there. But is it the only solution? And is it the first one? Is it the first 10 grand you should spend? Because if you spend elsewhere, you could get clients for another 10 grand and go get your wrap done. So it's the real question people might ask themselves, especially if it's their third year in business, first, second, third year in business, and they're looking for in these days, it has to be their first year in business. In these years, like you've made a little profit, a little $18,000 hanging out, like from the financials. Your accountant's giving you the green light. You can spend it. Obviously, you
Hmm.
need to spend that in client acquisition or some type of marketing.
Right.
Should a part of it be spent on agency fees or consulting fees to like just get like some type of funnel of ideas, and because not all of these agencies are good, and they charge not a cheap hourly, if you ask me. Like, I've shopped around. What's the best way? Doing it yourself, like.
It's always better to get it's always better to outsource to somebody who's smarter than you in that regard, right? So if you're in first year in business, it wouldn't make sense to spend your only 10 grand to a consulting firm. To me personally, especially if you're low on funds, and
That's it,
um
low on cash flow, you're trying to get some
at
cash
the
flow.
beginning you're still learning, you're in the learning phase, so like at the beginning it's more just getting the wheels in motion, just take action, do something, try it, even if you fail, like
Bootstrap
just go
it.
for it. Just try something, try Facebook ads, try telemarketing, try doing something like that, see and measure, because you need to do research, you need research, you need proof of concept, and you only get that by spending money, by investing and testing to see what works. It's all about testing, right? You could hire a consulting firm. You said second, third year. Maybe that would make more sense. And a business is when their second, third, fourth year that wants to take it to the next level, and they hire an external marketing team. It's never a good idea, right, Fel, to do everything yourself. Like you're the king of delegating. So I would think that you're on the same page with that
I
when it
I
comes to
started
delegating all
I
your
started by
aspects
doing it
of your business.
myself, and it was not a good idea. It was not good because you're so involved in all the mechanics and the operations, like the everyday thing of the business, and now you're trying to sell the whole thing at the same time,
It's a lot.
it's not a good idea to scale and sail at the same time. I know it rhymes, but it's not a it doesn't it sounds good in the sentence, but it doesn't look right
I think there's
when
a
you
certain point where you need to delegate everything, right? You need to give everything to a, and you need to focus on growing your business. You need to focus on what's most important, and just delegate everything else. Like
but
I think
there's
your
two ways
question
to
depends
delegate
on.
though. There's two ways to delegate, like, and there's two types of business, and that's the question. That's basically the question of today, and that's the question that I've been asked. Should I outsource 100%? Because delegating means also delegating to your it might mean delegating to an employee, like internal.
Yeah,
So you're either like going fully independent within your business parameters and what you've, you know, in the same culture, the same thing. You hire someone and you get them on board, and they do your marketing. They do what you ask them. It might be client acquisition by cold calling. It might be, or it might be marketing, straight up social media. But the question here is, should I invest in creating that whole structure, marketing structure, lead acquisition structure, getting a phone system, getting these guys on the phone means training, or this guy, or it might be one person, or should I outsource everything and buy leads? And I was
no, no. So
puzzled.
like,
I was puzzled by that question. I was like, buying leads. I never tried buying leads, by the way. So that's something I don't know about. Is it? But I know you and me at one point we discussed about creating some sort
look,
of service for that.
what I think is optimal is trying out both. What I think is optimal is trying out both, measuring, see which one which one gives you higher quality leads and a
Mm.
lower cost per lead. So why not do both? You can hire a manager. So I guess this would fall under the category of delegating, right? You're hiring a manager, somebody who's experienced in building a team and hiring lead generators to generate leads and to go get more business. So why not do both and measure? Because it's all about testing. If you ask me, it's all about testing to see what works best for you. There's no one size fits all in business. Never. It's always different. So if you're asking me, I would do both, and then I would
You would have
trim
spent
and
the
cut.
same amount in creating an internal process and the same amount
No, I wouldn't spread myself
you would
too
have
thin.
split.
I wouldn't spread myself too thin at the beginning. So it depends. At the beginning, I would just go full throttle in delegating, doing it myself, and doing it with my team, and maybe perhaps even me getting on the phone myself. Right? You're just starting out, so that's how it would have to be for me at the beginning. You're bootstrapping it, and then once you have a bit more cash, why not? Why not? Okay, let me try buying some leads. Let me see how it is. You start buying some leads, and you notice that the quality is absolutely shit. And are you going to continue buying leads? Probably not, right?
Well,
So,
these agencies. We've tried it. Like,
and how did it go? How did it go for you guys?
there's places out there, that provide, um, these platforms of, people, for service businesses. There's multiple platforms to look for jobs. So there's multiple platforms that say, okay, we have lined up all these customers that are needing services, cutting grass or whatever, and we need contractors to go and get the job done. And we're taking a cut. We're the middle guys, so we're taking a cut because we have to set up this app. Okay. Um, I guess if your business is set up in a way that your profit margins are always very structured, and you know that if you get these third party guys inside, your profit margin would not be hit to. If that's the case, fine. But I feel like it's never the case. I feel like it's never the case. Like, people never get such a control on their profit margin that they know exactly, yeah, I could fit a 25% or whatever, like $100 per lead. They never really calculate the amount it really costs, the amount of like lead acquisition versus lead the
conversion.
converting exactly. I think there's the miscalculation happens there, where in reality, if you have your own system, you have all that statistics and data available to you like in a click, so you know exactly what's going on, you know exactly if you're producing or not, and if it's not producing, you know, you can do yourself, like you can do the research yourself inside your system. These agencies keep that data very secured, so you don't know, you don't have access to it. I feel sometimes it could help, but I'm just wondering how. I'm wondering, like, is the real value coming from you being a little, pushed, and pushed a little bit by these? Okay, these guys are gonna help you, but they're not gonna do the job for you. You're gonna have to do at the end of the day, you're gonna have to convert all these clients. So in my opinion, might as well just open the deal first. Get some openers in and try to get
Yeah,
the.
first at the beginning, yeah, for
Because
sure.
you're
Because
gonna
think
along
about it,
the way,
your
you're gonna
your
have to do
margins,
all the hard work. So
technically your margins should be a lot higher when it's your own employees that are generating the leads, right or wrong? Technically, your
of course,
margins
you
should
just
be a
have to
lot.
learn how to set it up at the beginning. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the key. Exactly. Exactly. The other way is more for people who maybe don't have the experience to set up the
Or the
team.
time. Or
And
the
and
time.
and it's also peace of mind. It's peace of mind. They don't have to train a team. They don't have to train a manager. They don't even need an office, office, whatever. They don't have to buy equipment for their employees. They don't need any of that stuff, right? They just need to pay. And that's why they're paying $100 a lead, $200 a lead. It's got to factor in all those extra costs, and you have to, and you can't really put a price on peace of mind and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at your ROI, which one is higher? These are things there's no one answer. Obviously, you should have a higher ROI because your margins are a lot higher when it's your employees. Should be that way. But who knows? What if you hire this company who is amazing at generating leads? It's costing you $100 a lead, and you're closing 10% of the leads. That's why if you're asking me, you have to test it to really know for sure. And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to doing your research and just testing and reassessing and then making a decision based on that. You have to invest, in business to learn and
You need to live and learn. You
yeah,
need to
of
live
course,
to
of course,
learn.
but of course you could learn from other people's mistakes, and you can look at other, how others in the industry did it. But ultimately, first year of business, I would go, me personally, doing the cold calls, hiring my team, setting that up, and then year 3, 4, okay, why not try both? Is there a rule that says we can't do both? And try it out. What if both ways are bringing me an ROI, but I'm getting a higher ROI with my internal team that's generating the leads, but the external third-party company that's bringing in leads and I'm paying $100 a lead is giving me a smaller ROI, but I'm still getting an ROI.
But do you get
Wouldn't
the
you keep both?
same? That's interesting. Like you're proposing like some kind of hybrid. So that's interesting. But my question would be:
But
Are
why
you
not? There's no
diluting
rule
yourself?
that says you can't do. Sorry?
Are you diluting
No.
your
Why?
image?
But if
You
I
know.
just said, if you're making an ROI on both, why not just keep it going and even scale up higher?
So when you talk about getting an agency and like outsource, the outsourcing part should be what? What should you outsource? Would you outsource the marketing, like you're spreading your image out, or would you if you spend money out there? Okay, I have my system, I have my cold calling system, I have my guys that are promoting my image the way I want it inside of my office. I have control over that, and I have control over the costs. I decide of
Right?
which
Yeah.
campaigns and all that stuff. Now that's set
Yep.
up, I have a little money aside. Let's say, okay, 10 grand was not enough, but let's put it to like 20. Okay, I've put 10 grand to bootstrap my system, and now I have another 10 grand. Where should I outsource the 10 grand? Where should I start? Um, what agency should help me first? Est-ce que ça devrait être
Should you hire more employees or should you?
No, not necessarily. Like the system, because avec ton idée que tu parlais d'avoir un système qui est hybride, my question would be where to start with my outsourcing, because there's so many agencies that promotes different type of services. You have the social media guys. They're like, yeah, I can make you like, it's all the same promise, but it's different ways. And I've did so many Zoom calls, bro, with all of these guys. I don't want to say I drive them all, because there's always going to be like that, la perle, tu sais, le gars qui est vraiment bon dans ce qu'il fait.
Like in some,
these guys are busy.
In some sales, though, Phil, in some sales, you don't even have to pay them any base salary. You don't have to pay a base salary. You just pay them as commission if they sell. If that's the case, you really have no risk, right?
What do you mean?
Like there's like, for example, in real estate, when you sell real estate, you don't have to pay your agents a base salary, or at least I don't think so. And they only get paid commission from the sale. So imagine having a bunch of sales guys that you're not paying them, or saleswomen, and you're not paying them a salary, a fixed salary. They're just getting a commission for the sale. At this point, you don't really have a risk, right? So that's why when you ask me, it always depends. It always depends what industry you're in, what are you selling, But if you're asking me like broad like that, I would say like, but that's pretty much my answer is just to test, and measure, see what's working best.
I don't know. I've.
What do you think? I want to know what your thoughts
because
are.
I have asked
on
myself.
What do you think?
At some point, I've had money to spend on leads at some point, and I've checked on all kinds of websites to look for, because I know the game. Also, I know how it works. You and me know the mechanics of the game.
I'm not really a fan of the buying leads, though. Like, I'm not a huge fan of buying leads.
So here you are. You're like me.
Like,
so basically, you understand.
I'm like you. I like having control. I like having more control. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to give you a good ROI. It doesn't mean that at all. But I just feel like their primary goal is just to shoot out leads and get paid for the leads, whether they're hot or cold. You don't have any control on, okay, I want the leads to be qualified leads. This is my criteria of a qualified lead. The person has to be ready for our appointment next, and I need an exact day and time for that person to be ready.
I need a minimal 5,000 square feet, minimal. I need this, I need that.
And I don't think you can have that control, because they're just going to say, no, the person said that they're interested in meeting with you for a meeting. That's $100. And then you call the customer and you notice they're weak leads. Like, no, I never spoke to anyone. Or, yeah, I just requested information. That's not a lead. A lead is not somebody who requests information. A lead is somebody who is interested, potentially interested in buying, and they're willing to listen, to hear you out, see what your offer is, and see how you can benefit them. And
100%.
So yeah, I'm with you. I like more the control aspect of it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And I would have no problem if I had extra cash to throw at marketing. I would have no problem to test it out, measure it, and cut it if it doesn't work. Imagine you started and you try it out, and boom, you get a big client, or you never know. It could even be cheap, $100 per lead, that and a lead that gives you a lot more down the line. So I would be okay with trying it. You know what? It's nice when you talk about it, because you start to you start to think, and it starts to be more and more clear to you. But I'm with you, Fel, in the sense that that I like more to have the control, to like more to have to build a team. And that's also, Fel, you and I have the experience. We've been doing that for a long time. We've worked for many companies that build teams for sales, cold calling, and closing, and all that stuff. So, bro, me and you would 100% do that. But what about somebody else who's in the same industry as us but doesn't have that experience? it would probably be cheaper for them to buy the leads straight up
Yeah,
because they don't have the
it's
knowledge
true.
that we've acquired over the how many years do we have? 10, 15 years of experience.
Mhm.
Some people might not have the knowledge that we have, that we've acquired, and we spent a
So,
lot
but
of time getting.
for these guys, I think by what you're saying is it would cost them so much less over time to hire guys like us to go in their business and train someone internally instead of having those seasons where you buy leads and leads and leads and leads, and then you work on those leads. After a few months they dry out, you don't have any more leads, you need to buy more, you need cash flow too, so you always need
But
to
look, let me
save
give
up
you
for
another example.
leads.
Because that same person, that same entrepreneur that doesn't have the experience with calling could just hire somebody, a manager. They could just hire a manager like me or you, or somebody who's available, and pay us a nice salary. Okay, take care of my sales team. And they're going to know who to hire, how to structure the team, and all those things.
Yes, but
So there's so
to
many different
perform,
ways of doing it.
there's
Like
yes, you need.
it's all about testing. It's all about testing. You got to spend a bit of money, test it out, try it out. Same thing like Facebook ads. When you do Facebook, when you run Facebook, I've done Facebook ads and Insta ads, and it's really all about testing. You make a creative, you make a video, you launch the product. You have to spend money. You have to let the thing run for 1 week. The algorithm needs to learn. And then you see like, okay, I'm not getting any add to cart. Nobody's adding the product to their cart. Okay, nobody's interested. And you spent like 2, 3, $400. Okay, now it's time to kill it. Next, and you try something else. Kind of keep spending money to try what works.
It's true.
You and I have experience. We don't need
Yes.
to test anything. We know we
Well,
have the formula right
but
here.
we
We know what works.
tested. If you think about it, we tested for the past 3 years. We tested inside Uninet. We tested so many things that worked, some didn't work.
Yep.
We went through weeks of calling with no results. Like, no, I wouldn't say no results, because there was these weeks where we had nothing, but the calls of the past week paid off on the next week. It was. But I just feel like on the buying leads or outsourcing your marketing, at some point you get through those seasons, those dry seasons where you don't have that cash flow anymore like you used to, and paying for those outside sources are just not available, or they're just not a solution right now. I feel like having your own people, you could, by having your own team that gathers tricks and gathers statistics, at some point they would have some
Building up your database.
horsepower. Yeah, but they will have also that horsepower you don't have in your dry season. They will keep on pushing because their salary didn't change, right? Their commission plan didn't change. It's the same thing. They're being pushed by results, while you're supposed to be focused on operations and making sure that everything is being oiled well elsewhere. You can't be just like, okay, because you will have those seasons. You will have those seasons where your sales are going to take you more of your time, of your personal time as a business owner. You're going to need to, if you outsource all of that while your cash flow is going low, I feel like it's digging deep. It's digging your finance like
But
really
that's
deep.
back to my point. That's when you measure and you're paying for those leads, not really bringing you much. It's time to cut that company out. It's time to stop spending that money. It's not working. So you
But
have to
then you end
test.
up
So
with
there,
no leads.
so
So now you need to start from there. I feel like you should start now when it works, to have your internal system going. And if you're not the person, like you said earlier, you said like not everybody has that experience that we have. We should work on that. You should call us and we come in and we step in and we fix that problem inside of your company, where we train someone. We train your manager. You pay us and we train your manager inside of your business, because that's that's what's going to bring you leads all year long. And so, and that person will get experience, will get a good salary to do what you're, you know, what you're supposed to do when it's low, when it's getting low. When sales are going low, you need to increase actions,
Mm-hmm.
not
And you know what? And you
not the
saw it.
opposite.
You saw it. Last week was dead. Last week was dead. We just kept going. We just kept the calls up. The calls, boom, 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 boom. This morning I come in,
Inbound,
voicemail right away, inbound call right
inbound.
away. Hey, I got you. Hey, I got your message. We're looking for to clean not just the windows. We're looking to clean the entire façade. On veut un lavage de revêtement. Like, okay, it's like 9:15 in the morning. Would I have ever gotten that call if I wasn't pushing through all the dead, when the times were
Yeah,
dead and it was just repetitive, leaving voicemails, this and that. You would have never got that. You know,
I've seen
so you have
that
to
on the
keep pushing
Facebook
through. You
group
have to set.
sometimes. Yeah, guys, I went through
Seen
a
what?
hundred doors. Nobody answered. Everybody said no. Dude, you need to keep doing doors. Like, you did 100, you need to do 500 tomorrow, and you need to do another 500 and another 500. And the reason why you need someone ASAP in your business, that's a fresh new hire, or someone of trust that's been working and doesn't have hours. In some businesses, you don't have the you know, il y a des gens qui travaillent pas en ce moment dans la business, qui n'ont pas d'heures. Ça, j'ai vu ça souvent. And these people are at home doing nothing. They know all the insides of your business. They might be the best next salesperson for your business. Who do we know that happened to just be very good at sales and was very shy at the beginning? Who do we know? We're not going to tell, just because I said that, we're not going to say it. But we had someone inside our business that was very shy. Just doing calls, just calling for
I mean, we all were at the beginning, though. We all were
yeah,
at the
of
beginning
course.
shy at first.
But not
Do you
not on
remember your
sales
first
call,
time
just
calling?
calling, like, just calling people. Hey, bonjour, j'aimerais avoir de l'information. It's something that it was taking him out of his comfort zone. He just liked to go work, leave. And now he's a great asset because he has that skill now, and he's happy to have it because it's also empowering for him
He is.
to just
Yeah.
go out there and call, get the information for it by himself. He's happy to be able to do that.
Yeah. There's no
And
better
giving that
feeling than
power
going out
to
of your
your
comfort
employees
zone
is
and
great.
and succeeding. And then when you succeed after going out of your comfort zone, then you just gain that confidence, and then it's over. And then
It's
the sky's the limit.
over. Game
It's all over.
over.
You discovered a new world, and it's like, wow,
Everything.
it's
It's
such
true.
a thrilling experience when you
Yes.
go through that period of discomfort, and then you come back on the other side and you become an expert and you become good at it. And it's like, whoa, I would have never got here if I didn't
Do you remember
go
do you
through
remember that time
if
where
I
you
didn't go through
felt
that.
that?
Like, yeah, of course, definitely. Diamonds are not formed. What's that? How does that expression go? Like, you need pressure to form diamonds, right? Diamonds
Yes.
will not
It's just so true.
form
I remember you
like
training
there's
me
so many,
my first
and
week.
it's all true.
I remember my first week with you. I was I was being pressured by all of you guys on the floor, doing calls. There was 100 of people where we worked at the beginning, and I remember being terrified, bro.
But you
Everybody
picked
was
it up right
talking
away.
English.
Do you remember when they kicked? You remember when they kicked out the whole sales force? We were like 20 people on French side.
Yeah,
They kicked everybody off except for, like, how many were left? Like four?
four
It
guys.
was like me, you,
You, me,
and two
Nicodet.
other people. They
Yeah,
cut, yeah, me, you, Nick, and somebody else.
I think
Or I
Pacheco.
think that's it, three or something.
Was
We
that
we
Pacheco?
we were
No, they cut Pacheco
20.
too.
They lined us up and they lined us up. You remember? You remember that day?
Yeah,
They lined us up and they said, "Okay, guys, most of you guys are getting fired.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we're downsizing the sales force." And they kept me, you, and one or two other people. But how much, like, as much as it's like, I obviously it's not something that you, it doesn't make you feel good, that people lost their jobs and stuff. But in a way, it makes you feel good because you're like one of the best ones, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, I started thinking and I started making calculations in my head. I was thinking, I was like, they're kicking everybody out because they mean no money. They're keeping us because we mean money. They saw
Hmm.
dollar signs when they saw us in the floor ripping it. I feel like at some point the best value is like that made me realize. It's funny you talk about that, particular event, because that also at a young age made me realize that these skills were highly valuable. At some point they were ready to keep us in, even with no sales in the future. Not like we were not going to bring in sales. They were kicking everybody out because the campaign was just dead. The campaign was really not flourishing, but they kept
But we were
us.
we were obviously making the money though. Like we
We
were
were
making
making
them
them money, so
sales.
they were
They were closing all
ready to
kinds of
pay
deals.
us to stay there in the waiting time of finding a new campaign or
Yeah.
getting a new campaign lined up. That's crazy. So that's how, for me, that's how I knew that these sales campaign are highly valuable. And because workforce is the most expensive thing for a company. Outsourcing is cheap because it's tax deductible. Outsourcing anything, buying leads or anything, it's very, very tax deductible. But these companies, they didn't want to do that. Or they were willing to spend more keeping us. So I feel, Jordan, that if these major companies, understood that back then, I feel like it's even more or less understood now.
But bro, in the long term, it's always worth building that team. Like, just the one major asset is building your database, having all those
Mm,
phone numbers and the client's
mhm.
name, information, emails in your
Mhm.
database. That in itself is worth a shit ton of money. Having that
Protected
system of
database.
like
We should say
10,
protected because
10.
now the Loi 25
Yeah,
ask us to
of
be
course,
protected.
no,
But
yeah,
let's
of
just say
course,
it.
sure, but that's it. So being able to have targeted marketing campaigns, email campaigns, being able to have a dialing system in itself, like,
Yeah.
that's worth a lot of money. And by just paying an external company in the long run, I'm talking about in the long run, it's always worth it. Building the team and having a protected database, right? Because obviously we protect the information. Phil,
Bro, well, yeah, we're gonna
anything else you wanted to add?
no, we're gonna wrap it up on that. And I feel like we should like get in the comments down the people that want to get more information on getting their own database set up, like you said, getting their own team set up, getting, one fresh new hire, or even I think even more interesting, hiring someone from their team that lacks, work, that has no working hours, or that you feel that they're a great asset, but you have nothing to give them. You should transform that person into a salesperson. And we ask us if you want us to show you how. I
Everybody,
want to
everybody
know.
should be a salesperson.
Yeah, everybody
Everybody. Your
should be a
delivery
salesperson.
people, the delivery guys, you're going to deliver the product. Man, teach them how to upsell. Hey, you'll get
If
a
they
little
know how
commission
to
if if you
upsell, they're
if
gonna
you end up
upsell
making
your
them
business
spend more.
everywhere they go.
Your
You're right.
whole business
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
should be salespeople.
Mhm.
Everybody.
You're right. It's a
Literally,
very
that if
powerful
you have
skill.
a setup like that and everybody is incentivized to upsell, or to not even upsell, you want to make the client's life better. You want to actually give them value. If you think with that mentality of, I want to make their life, how can I make their life better? How can I save them time or money? If you always approach every prospect like that, why would they say no to you? They would be stupid to say no to you. And if you have everybody, you instill that mindset into everybody. There's only one way that your business is going to go.
It's so
And
true, bro.
that's up,
We're gonna have to
my
go,
friends.
but
So
let's do that. Let's do that again tomorrow with what is it? It's getting Tuesday done. Let's get that done tomorrow too, bro. On fait ça encore. It's podcast.
Yeah,
Man.
and I just want to know how many people are. I want to know how. Can you guys, whoever's listening, like just to let us know that you've watched the entire podcast. If you can just drop a 1 in the comments, just drop a 1. You're probably not watching it now, but if you watch it later on, drop a 1 in the comments, and that's our way. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. That's our way of feeling the love. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening, and wish you guys an amazing day. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Amazing outro, bro. Wow, you killed it. Let's